Good day, everyone. I am Marian A. Cabarlas, your reporter for this topic, which is Introduction to Web-Based Instruction. So, let's proceed to the introduction. So, as the internet technology is introduced, it makes a new revolution in technology. So, what is an internet? So, internet is a vast network that connects computers all over the world. So, through the internet, people can share information and communicate from anywhere with an internet connection. Also, the wide use of internet also affects the methods of education. Why? Because if you have low internet connection, you cannot give more information or knowledge to your students, especially we as a teacher. So it is very important that we have a strong internet connection. Also, it is a global network and gives the concepts of global classroom where any number of students can interact with each other at any time. So the WW or the World Wide Web gives attractive features to web-based education. So we have the ability to have multimedia documents. And we have also the hypertext, hypermedia capability, and also the WW, which means World Wide Web, like what I've said a while ago. And then the network basis, allowing for distance and formal learning. So according to Power 2001, Sekar and Devanathan in 2011, web-based instruction refers to providing a learning environment that is mediated and supported via the internet or intranet and connected to a computer with hyperlinks to resources outside the instructional domain. So it is said that web-based instruction refers to providing a learning environment. Also, the instruction is designed so that the computer displays a lesson in response to learner or user interactions. It is according to Farid in 2008. So now we will talk about what is web-based instruction. So it is said that as the internet technology is introduced, it makes a new revolution in information technology. So the wide use of internet also affects the methods of education. It is also a global network and gives the concept of global classroom where any number of students can interact with each other at any time. Also, web-based learning is one way to learn using the web-based technologies or tools in a learning process. So in other words, learner uses mainly computers to interact with the teachers, other students and learning materials. Also, web-based learning consists of technology that supports traditional classroom training and online learning. So web-based instruction also, it is a hypermedia-based instructional program which utilizes the attributes of resources of the World Wide Web to create a meaningful learning environment. So the uses of the web-based instruction is to have or to create a meaningful learning environment. Next, also web-based learning can be formal or informal. So when we say formal based learning, it is a learning activities that are organized by teachers. While informal learning, it takes place while you are searching materials from the internet. So formal based learning is organized by teachers, while informal learning is you have a material from the internet. It is also a self-paced depending on your goals and ambition to learn. Also, web-based instruction as a hypermedia-based instructional program which utilizes the attributes and resources of the World Wide Web to create a meaningful learning environment where learning is fostered and supported. So, as a teacher, it is very important that we have the web-based instruction because it helps us to create a meaningful and learning environment where the learning is fostered and supported and also the students can have a better knowledge. Let's proceed to the types of web-based instruction. So we have asynchronous and synchronous. So let's talk about first the asynchronous. So in asynchronous, the education module is to be installed from a particular website and then we can unpack it offline on our machine. In this case, there is no mutual interaction of student with teacher. It means that it is time independent or learners are taking course materials at their own pace at a time that is convenient for them. So it is called asynchronous. While synchronous it is a synchronization among the students and teacher online. And it is also provides the most emerging concepts of e-learning. So in asynchronous, there is an interaction between the students and the teacher. While in asynchronous, it is a mutual interaction of students. There is no mutual interaction of student with teacher. Now, let's talk about the reasons for the growth of WBI. That includes, first is growth of distance education, economically reliable and inexpensive source as compared to computer-based training, live broadcasts, videotapes, and so on. So it is very important that we have the growth of distance education in WBI. Also, it enables learners who prefer or are required to learn outside traditional classroom to attend classes at their homes or offices. So it enables also the learners to have this because they can attend the classes at their homes or offices. It can also enhancing student learning and they can also spending more time with students working in small groups or one-on-one. We also have reducing repetitive teaching tasks, and we also have reducing paper flow and management, and we have also providing improved instructional materials, and web-based instruction frees the students from space and time. So web-based instruction can help in improving our instructional materials, and it has the advantage of the students because it is space and have a free time. Now let's talk about the development of WBI or the web-based instruction. So it is a rule in creating learning environment that utilize the attributes and resources of the internet and the World Wide Web. Emphasis will be placed on pedagogical, technological, organizational, institutional, and ethical issues related to the design, development, and delivery of WBI. So later on, we will discuss about the design and the development. Also, it is the navigation, is the process of reading and controlling the movement of a craft or vehicle from one place to another. So navigation is the movement of a craft or vehicle from one place to another. Next is interactivity. In computers, interactivity is the dialogue that occurs between a human being or possibly another live creatures and a computer program. Next is graphics. So graphics are visual presentation on some surface such as wall, canvas, computer screen, paper, or stone to brand, inform, illustrate, or entertain. So I know all of you is already familiar about graphics. So let's now talk about image. So what is an image? It is an imitation, representation, or similitude of any person, things, or act, sculptured, drawn, painted, or otherwise made perceptible to the sight. Also a visible presentation, a copy, a likeness, an effigy, a picture, a semblance. So let's now talk about the teaching and learning. In practical development, student-centered approaches and student-active learning have been adopted as an appropriate teaching technology. So next is the web-based instruction design. So it is an instructional design is a systematic process that instructional designers should follow in order to achieve the creation of efficient and effectiveness instruction. So it is very important that they follow in order to achieve the creation of efficient and effective instruction. So now let's talk about the ADDIE model. So it was initially developed by Florida State University. So this model originally contained several steps under the 5 original phases, which is analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluation. I think you are already familiar with this. So later on, we will discuss it one by one. Now, let's talk about the several steps under the 5 original phases. First is the analyze. So, analyze refers to the gathering of information about the learner, the tasks to be completed, and the other project's overall goals. While design, in this phase, instructional designers begin to create his project. So, in design, you also create your projects. While in develop, it is related to the creation of the activities being implemented. This stage is where the blueprints in the design phase are assembled. So in this phase, your blueprints in this design are assembled. While in design, you are to design or to begin your project. In analyze, it is you are gathering of information about the learners. Is implement. In this stage, allows the instructional designer to test all materials to identify if they are functional and appropriate for the intended learners. So in this stage, you're going to have the appropriate for the intended learning. Appropriate or it is functional, the materials that you are going to use. While in evaluate, it is the final stage, you will evaluate or ensures the materials achieved the desired goals. So in this stage, you are now going to evaluate your desired goals. So now let's talk about the advantages of WBI. So WBI is advantages to remote learners. Second is it is auto-instructional or self-instructional. It is also a cost-effective and has flexible timing. And it is both formal and non-formal setting of education. So we already talked about the formal and non-formal in setting of education. Next is so WBI is very helpful for large group of students, and then learners can also undergo training from any place or location. So with the use of WBI, they can undergo training from any places or in any location. So WBI can repeat the lesson several times for the convenience of the learners. So with the help also of WBI, they can repeat the lesson several times for the convenience of the learners. So again, web-based instruction is a hypermedia-based instructional program which utilizes the attributes and resources of the World Wide Web to create a meaningful learning environment. So that's the end of my report. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, everyone.